exciting day. And,
Yeah.
and so an acknowledgement that it's a big day for you guys kicking off practice. Just what do you think the mood's like? What's the vibe like today?
I think it's kind of like the beginning of a new chapter. Granted, we had this whole fall to work hard, but now that chapter's over, we got back last week ready for school. We got our individuals out of the way, and we've been doing a lot of testing in the weight room. But now that we're starting team practice, I think it's kind of like the beginning of a new chapter. It's kind of go time for us. So I think we're all really excited about that.
How different is this for you, where you get the whole off season where you're healthy, and you get a whole fall where you're not the only arm out there? Just to physically, how different a position are you in now compared to last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
It's nice. Me personally, I'm probably 3 times stronger than I was last spring. I worked really hard in the weight room this summer. Same thing with this fall, just trying to really get my body prepared and get as strong as I possibly could be in the best shape that I could be. So it was kind of relieving to kind of have that reassurance in the back of my mind that we have 3 other arms that we could use. And it just kind of helped push me even more to kind of get even stronger in the weight room and just push myself. I kind of had like a little bit more of a motive, knowing that, this year we have a full staff, we have a full team, and knowing that, I kind of wanted to not just kind of walk into it thinking we got this in the bag. It was more of now is the time to push more than ever.
Is there any mentality shift going into the season, knowing, maybe you're not starting every game, but you come in the 5th inning in a big-time situation, and it's just a different perspective? Does that change your preparation or mentality at all?
I mean, of course, if you're coming in, in the middle of a game, obviously your kind of preparation for that is a little bit different. You're not starting the game. You're coming into a game that's already been half played, so there could be runners on base. There could be, 3 or 4 runs up on the board. You could be winning. You could be losing. It's not a clean slate. But just as far as preparing this fall and preparing before games, it's the same as it is. Perform to be your best and do what you can to be the best. And at the end, let the coaches take care of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said coming off of last season, you wanted to unplug a little bit over the offseason, maybe even get away from softball a little bit. Just do you feel refreshed now? Just how do you feel yourself mentally coming into this season that way?
I feel refreshed. I took about probably a month off from pitching, but I immediately started giving pitching lessons. Like I was bored. Like I had to be involved in the game. I was going and watching like travel teams practices. I was pitching on my own by the time that happened. And in that month that I wasn't pitching, I was at least working out. As much as sometimes we need a break at the end of the day. Sometimes maybe only a week or 2 is really all you kind of mentally feel like you need. But it was just kind of having that discipline to sit out that whole month and just let my whole body rest as well. But as far as mentally, I feel so much more refreshed, relaxed. I'm calm. I'm excited to go to practice. I feel, just absolutely relieved. Like I'm excited for the season to start.
What was the kind of vibe after fall ball, after the final fall ball game, and just the strengths you saw that you hope can translate out onto the field these next couple weeks?
For one, I think, this team going through what we went through last year, kind of having a, short staff, short numbers on the roster. Last year, it was almost like our mentality was like a fighting mentality. We were fighting to prove a point. We were fighting to hang in there. We were fighting to show everyone that we weren't down and out. And although people counted us down and out this year, I think now that we've kind of reloaded, it's not necessarily about fighting anymore. It's about, playing our best, and we're concerned with ourselves and only ourselves. It's not a matter of trying to scrap to stay alive. We're ready and we're prepared, and we can be just as good as anybody else can be.
Adding strength, is that going to translate into pitch speed, the speed of your pitches, or be able to tell so far? And have you increased your repertoire at all? Any pitches that you're going to be throwing that you didn't last year?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're in the weight room, anything you do in there should be able to help as far as speed, power, endurance, any of that. And just having that time off to kind of regroup, as well as getting back started and working on things, maybe fine-tuning a few things, adding a couple of pitches or whatever it may be that any pitcher decides to do. I think that whole summer is a huge time to do that. And then, like I said, working in the weight room, it kind of affects everything, your health, your endurance, strength, all of it. So.
What pitch have you added? What can you say?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that right now.
We have a chance to see Samaria a lot in the fall. I think she pitched in Boise or something like that. But what does she bring into that pitching rotation?
Samaria, she's awesome. She's super athletic, super strong. She can definitely bring in the heat. She's got a lot of movement. I think she's going to be somebody that's really going to set the tone for this team, especially with her senior leadership. She's the oldest pitcher we have on our staff. She's had postseason experience at her old school. So I think she's really going to kind of help lead this staff and kind of help us kind of figure things out as we go, as well as kind of setting her own tone, kind of dominating from the circle, whether it be in a starting role or a relief role. I'm sure Lombardi mentioned, we have so many different pitchers, as far as what we throw and why we throw them, speed, accuracy, all of that. So her coming in before or after any of us is going to be a huge kind of game changer.
What's it been like working with Tara, where you now know she's actually going to be in games and not just practice?
It's been nice, kind of having her behind the plate a lot more. I feel like in the last season she was more so kind of just catching in drills or, helping out with the infield or whatever it may be, while the other catchers were getting more reps. Pretty much just going wherever she was needed. But now it's like she's kind of more focused in on her certain positions, and she's gotten behind the plate a lot more, and it's been nice to kind of have her back there, as well as Shay and the rest of them, Val too. Just kind of getting used to that, having multiple catchers back there, and they're all very talented. So being able to have all of them back there and know that you have confidence in them to, block or catch or frame or whatever it may be is pretty awesome.